Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hey, episode 2. Hey, we done made it big. Look at us. We big time now.
We didn't think we'd make
Period.
it, but we made it this far.
Right.
Somebody need
Episode
to
2.
cue the Meek Mill music, standing on the couches.
Mhm.
I used to run like this, but times like no.
All because it's episode 2.
All because it's episode 2. You got to celebrate the small wins,
Right.
for real. You probably wonder what I'm doing. So TikTok had asked me if I wanted to go live, but apparently that's a whole thing. You got to have a whole address, social security number, and all kind of stuff. So did you know that?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
I had no idea.
Okay. All right. So welcome to the second episode of Talks with the Taylors. My name is Simeon Taylor, and this is the beautiful
Yolanda Taylor.
All right. And so last week we tackled a really good subject and topic. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, okay. What was it?
It was remixed.
Yeah, it was really good. We was trying to come up with the title so many times, and then was like, you know what? This is what it's gonna be. So
It was originally you were supposed to be. It was supposed to be. Is it time for me to reconsider the mate that I've chosen? And,
I don't like how that sounds.
and so Mr. Taylor was like, "Yikes, my mate has changed." So I was like, "Okay, that's fine. They both go together. They correlate. They go together. That's fine. We can go with that." So yeah. So our first topic was talking about what do you do when your mate has changed and the signs of changing and when to check in with your mate and all of that.
Yeah. So quick recap is that the fact everybody changes as every second go by. It would be foolish to think that the person stays the same that you with because likes, interests change, we age, taste buds
I
change,
don't age.
diets change. Yeah, she's a vampire.
Period. No, whatever.
Yolanda's looked the same since I met her.
Yeah.
Anybody that know us know.
Mm-mm.
But typically, what's typical is that when there's a life event, people change, or there's a sense of trauma or maturity, or sometimes a little backpedaling. A lot of people say that they used to be like this and now they act this way. Well, sometimes everybody can't deal with trauma the same way, and people will acquiesce or they'll find a safe place. And then while somebody else will think they're growing and the other person isn't growing, that's not necessarily the case. It's just now that traumatic event has curved their interest, and now that same thing that they may have used to like, they don't like it no more.
Or have forced them to adapt traits to be able to cope with the situation or the problem or whatever has occurred in their lives. So when they are using those vices or any kind of other, I mean, it doesn't always have to be negative either. Like we talked about wins as well, because if somebody has a great win, sometimes that'll alter their behavior, the way they act, who they are. And so sometimes, yes, you get a win and you change. And sometimes when you lose, you change.
Hey, I
So,
know how algorithms work. I had after our topic a crazy story came across my timeline. We talk about changes. A guy and his wife got together, and they was like, he always wanted to have another woman in bed, and she was like, all right, well, I want to have another guy in bed. He was like, I'm thinking like, okay, because I'm blessed, so ain't nobody gonna outdo me. And so they invited another person in their room. First of all, I mean, do what you do.
that's your business.
That's your
You
business.
you
So they invited a woman in his bed, in their bed, and they had their little shink and then she was like, well, there's a guy I've been wanting to invite into our room. He's like, all right, cool. And said that this guy was a professional person, you know. And he said, I'm sitting over here watching this man go to town on my wife. And I felt some kind of way. He was like, I had to go and tap his chest and then check on her and say, are you okay? And she was like, I'm fine. Get off me. Get away from me. He said, we thought, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And he said, here we are a week or two later. I don't want to be in a relationship no more. She don't even hardly talk to me. her mood is all weird and all that. So
She got to win.
she
What can we say? And she turned to a different woman. Hey, no, listen. That's the reason why you are to
Oh my
work
goodness.
it out with your person that you're with. You have to reconsider your mate. When I don't mean like reconsider them like, oh, did I pick the right one? I'm gonna go give me another one. No, like reconsider that this person may have changed a little bit, and you have to consider the new person that they have become.
She a new person.
You have to consider the new person that they've become and work on either serving them in the place that they are or helping them to get back to who they used to be, because sometimes the change is not always for good. And so you need to, like, if somebody has a mental breakdown or has some type of, like we talked about psychosis, even if you have one of those situations, you need to help the person revert back to the person they were before, or you have to serve the person in their change in growth. Like if you are separating, you have to, how can I serve this person now? Or maybe there's some changes that I need to meet, or maybe it's time for me to grow up in a situation or area, So that was last week. And if you did not get it, go back and watch it. It was a good episode. I might have to say so myself. We did good. It was our first.
I'm not doing that.
Yes.
Focus. Okay. Last time we took way too long too.
Okay.
All right.
So this week, tonight, we're talking about, is compromise lowering your standards?
And this came about because we got into a really good conversation at a picnic about this. And we also know a sister, and she's always got great conversation on Facebook. Her name's Brittany Dayton. And she's always saying, I know my standard. I'm not compromising. And then we had a discussion with some ladies the other day, and we're trying to discover, is compromising and lowering a standard the same thing?
Right.
So what is a standard? How would you identify what a standard is?
I would identify a standard as those things that are non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like your religious beliefs, or your moral, your the things that your whatever, spiritually, mentally, you have to be
according to the Bible.
You have to be mentally stable. I would say that. So your mental state, a lot of people are like, I'm married now. So a lot of people are like, he got to be financially stable. Now, don't get me wrong. I would say this. You're not out there trying to get with no bum, just somebody just gambling money, or they don't care about, they have nothing going on in the financial department. But what I am saying is, I don't think that he has to be 6 figures or better and doing this or that, the other, for you to be able to date him. Now, if he has everything else in place, y'all can put y'all money together and get in the 6-figure bracket. That's just me. But like I said, I'm not married either, and for some people, they may consider that lowering standards. I don't believe that's lowering standards. I think that's a compromise. I think the financial part of things, depending on where they are, how their spending habits are, that is is contingent. If I would talk to you, is contingent on what those habits are, where they range. But yes, but mentally, that's a no, non-negotiable. Spiritually, that's a non-negotiable. Moral, that's a non-negotiable for me. Those are things you don't compromise on.
So I think when you think of standards, to make it really fundamental, think about the framework of things that have to happen for something to function well, right? So if we're thinking about a car, for the car to function well, the wheels have to be up to a certain standard to carry a certain weight. The brakes have to work. The engine has to work. The transmission. The car has to have certain safety standards to keep the people safe to get to a destination, right? So when you're thinking about your standards, I think you should think about, you can do whatever you want to do, but think about, what does success look like? What does a healthy marriage look like? What does a healthy relationship look like? If not marriage, what's a healthy relationship looks like? What's it look like to treat me healthy, or to keep me healthy, which to keep me in the same place? A lot of people like to say stuff like, she too insecure, or he didn't became all insecure. Okay, what events have happened? It may not be your fault. However, we all play a responsibility when we're dealing with people, right? So, but the pre stuff, we're talking about pre. So,
Yes.
what are the standards um, that keeps you safe, that keeps them safe, and keep your relationship to be in a safe space? So, like Yolanda said, moral standards. Um, Now they're starting to become more awareness of my emotional awareness, or my EQ, my emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. That is being aware of the things that I say or do, um, that cause people comfort or discomfort. The things I do well, which are my strengths, or the things I may need. These are areas of opportunity, or the things that people kind of rely on me for. So when I recognize these are different, this is my emotional intelligence, these are my toxic, these are things I don't do well, these are things I do really well, these are feedback things that people say I do well, these are things that people, so it's just all of that stuff, and being in control of how you react, how you respond in situations. So again, I just think some of the standards is making sure that somebody's emotionally available. All right. Yeah, that's the gray hair.
No, there's something on your lip. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go on.
Yep.
I didn't know if the camera could pick that up. I don't want you looking, crazy on camera.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Go on. Go on.
Oh my God. But there are some things like that. Now, the reason why, in my opinion, I say these things to think about for standards, because those are the impact, attitude, motivations that'll get either into a better place or into a worse place. So, for an example, if you meet somebody and they're selfish, all right, we all selfish because we're human.
Yeah, but personality traits are definitely,
So
you definitely want to consider those type of things if they're kind or inconsiderate and
considerate.
Those type of things are definitely to be considered. That's a non-negotiable as well.
Probably want to have a conversation like, hey, how do you feel? What are important to you?
I think some of those non-negotiables, though, you don't really know until you've sat down in a space with someone and kind of got to talk with them and know them. Or if you have a choice or the option of watching them from afar for a little while, I would do that. Like maybe if y'all in social settings and stuff, and then
it's like picking out a house.
You can
go in the daytime,
them.
on the weekend, and at nighttime.
Yeah,
see what the neighborhood is like.
Yeah, you gotta see how they operate before you be like, okay, I want to talk to this person or whatever. That I think that's one of the things you should do.
Okay, hold on. Let's rewind. Standards.
Okay.
Is that a me thing? Or is that a me problem to have a standard, or is that a everybody else problem that they're not
up to your standard?
Up to the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blue.
I agree. Okay, so I say yes to both because your standards are also kind of like boundaries. They kind of keep you safe. You know what I mean? And then, yes, those boundaries are to be met by the person that you are going to be, entertaining. I don't think that it's a you or them or you thing. I think it's people got so many different names and stuff for it now. And I'm not here to be politically correct. What I'm trying to say is if you and that person can agree upon the things that you consider non-negotiables and they are presenting those to you and they present them strong, I say, hey, don't let it slip, especially at a time like this when it's so hard to date. yeah. Uh, I don't see why it wouldn't be a reason to entertain. And when you're dating, it's not an exclusive thing. You know, you're going out to see how you are meshing with people. You know, you're trying. That is the moment. That is the time that you're filling them out. And like I said, if you can watch them from afar before you approach them and say, "Hey, I've been watching you and I think you cool." Now, I'm not talking about stalking. There's a difference. I'm not talking about stalking. I'm saying, like, if you can be in a space with them regularly, y'all just so happen to be in the same social circle, y'all go to same places, y'all, you know, you see them at the same events and things like that, and you're like, oh, I think I'm interested in that person. I would take a little time and watch them in the different settings just to see, you know, if this person is cool, how they react. Do they over drink? You know, are they for me, cursing is not a thing that I'm super attracted to. I don't care. But if you got one of them potty mouths and you just cursing for no, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Profane. So there's swearing and then there's profanity.
Okay.
So like,
but I'm
there's
just
that, and then there's the.
But I'm just saying
words.
that there's just, you know, cursing is cursing me. That's, we can agree to disagree, but cursing is cursing me. But I'm just saying, you might want to just kind of watch them from a distance before you express that you have any interest in them. And in some cases, you might have to, because the setting doesn't actually show them in their real light. You might have to get them outside of the social setting and get them in a more intimate setting to be able to see. You know.
So what I'm trying to get you to get to is, I know ladies.
Oh, you interviewing me?
No,
okay,
I'm trying to
What's up?
Get your.
I didn't know.
Trying to get you the woman's perspective, because I know that women typically have a list. Like, I've heard he gotta be 6'2", dark skin with a body and dimples, a full hairline, bow leg, chocolate, and drive a Jaguar. And
well, you know what? I have to say there are different caliber.
I was just gonna say, so is it caliber of women or categories of standards?
Same thing. Same thing. Yes, because you have different caliber of women. So there are women whom they don't care about the physical. They just want to know that you're gonna take care of me, and I can take care of you, and the respect is gonna be mutual. And we, you know, you got your stuff together, I got my stuff together, and we just wanna, hey. Then there are other women who actually physical is a very, very, very big part of it for them. And it ain't gonna be no talking if, you know, if the physical, if the physical come together. And if they do talk to you, it's gonna be a struggle. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be hard for them to be fully present with you without any, you know, judgment or second guessing. And that's a real thing. But to each his own. Everybody can, you know, anybody can do, you know, you can't tell people what they can and can't do. That's their lives. They can do whatever they want to do. But for me, the question is being posed, do you think that because you compromise, you're lowering standards? And I don't think that. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I believe compromises are being made for stuff that is superficial, for things that, at the end of the day, if this is not a life or death situation, like, somebody's character can put you in a life and death situation. Yeah. Somebody's height cannot do that. I'm just saying. If somebody,
I mean, if you get attacked, I mean, if you in like this, okay, go ahead.
Now, hey, listen, I am the type of woman, I can't be in a relationship with a man that's smaller than me. It's a security thing. That's my own preference. I just don't feel like if you're in a relationship with a guy that's bigger than y'all, and y'all get caught in the dark alley. I always say it. Listen to me. I want to know that. I don't know why we're in a dark alley, but that's the scenario. I just want to know that you're not gonna be running and leaving me behind, and I'm stuck with the
So
robber by
I want
myself.
to take
And
up
we
for
gonna
the
fight.
not very tall guys.
I'm
I
not
think
talking about just being tall. I just mean you have to be bigger than me. I don't want some guy that's smaller or little, or you
okay,
know.
watch it, just because you know you get real descriptive and you about to start describing people.
Sim, listen. I'm just
Smaller little window, red pants on.
boy. You ain't
First of all,
none of
not
that.
small. Nah, because
You are not none
you've
of
been
that.
having fat jokes lately, and I just want to make sure that you don't.
When did this turn about you?
No, it's not
Because
about me.
now that I said
Wait, let me tell
describing
you.
you.
It's not about me, but I'm saying how you've been easily describing me. I don't want you to accidentally easily describe one of our skinny friends.
Yes. Oh, anyhow, moving on. The point I'm making is you got to know the difference between a preference and an actual problem. Okay.
A preference and a problem.
Yes, it's a problem if he's abusive or
Ah,
mean
oh, I got you.
or disrespectful.
I got you. Toxic traits.
Or have to, yes, toxic traits. That's a
Here we
problem.
go. So,
But him being brown skinned instead of chocolate, is that really a problem?
I don't know.
Is that life or death?
Because I could say.
Is that going to affect the quality of your life?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's going to affect the quality of your life. Now, if you have a spiritual belief and he has a different spiritual life, that might affect the quality of your life.
Yeah.
Him being short or tall is not going to affect the quality of your life. But if he has some moral issues, or that might affect the quality of your life. If y'all deciding to be together, that's how I measure standards.
But you just said that if somebody's short, you don't like them.
I said that's my preference. That is also, preferences are also things that you compromise on. You weren't listening to any of what I was saying.
I was listening.
I said, now listen, my own personal preference, and I was going into detail about why. And the reason why I was saying that is because we can go on and on and on about why we don't like something, right? But at the end of the day, that's still not, was being rude and cut me off.
I apologize. That's 2 apologies in 20 minutes.
I'm saying I can go on and on, like my preference is, and I'm like, we caught in the dark alley and I don't want to be, and who gonna defend us, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, now you might want to argue that. Well, see, now that's a life or death situation. No, y'all both gonna fight together. That's what it's gonna be. You concerned that, oh, who gonna defend us or whatever case may be. No, that what you need to be worried about is if his character is gonna leave you in the alley to fight for yourself. That's what you really need to be thinking about.
That's you know it is what it is. Come meet me in this dark alley. Baby, you ready for this? All 3 of y'all come meet us in this dark alley. I'm 6'2". Like, we gotta what? I'm thinking about this dark. I'm trying to figure out how we get to dark alley, and that didn't work. Okay. I was really trying to figure out how do we get to there. Oh, we taking the shortcut and get there. I don't know. I was really trying to go there.
How many times now? Listen, I'm from Kansas City, and all of y'all, most of y'all that's watching is from Kansas City. Child, how many times have I parked the car and walked down the street on 18th and Vine down the back to get to my car to get to?
That's a dark alley, ain't it?
I'm just saying, we might end up in a dark alley. Okay. You and I have walked in a dark alley together before to go to our car after our not so holy social gathering.
All right. Okay, so standards.
So that's all I'm saying.
So I guess now we think about standards, preference, and compromising. So you compromise. All right, so if I hear this right, just to make that make sense for us men, because sometimes you know, I'm pretty sure the ladies are clocking the tea and stirring the tea and doing all that to the tea. But for us guys, we gotta kind of make it pretty simple. So you have standards. These are the non-negotiables, or should be. So we probably shouldn't mix soup. Okay, before I get to that. So those are the kindness and things like that. The standard of how to live, standard of how to treat a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you compromise on your preference. So I prefer a woman that looks like this or a guy that
Mm-hmm.
looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I can compromise if these standards, if this person is up to my standard.
On your preferences.
Yeah, I can compromise on my preference if this person meets the standard of leading a healthy quality of life, treating me well, making my life more quality. The standard should be, does this person add to me? Do I add to them? And what a successful life look like for me, or what a peaceful life look like for me. I know a lot of people was on that 2 years ago. Be his peace, be her peace, be her peace, be his peace. You gotta get peaceful to yourself, because if I'm relying on this lady to be my peace, and if she disappeared, then I'm restless and I'm not peaceful anymore. But if I get inner peace, then I have peace to offer, and this person does as well, or we make a peaceful environment and space.
And if you relying on me to be your peace when I'm in my funk or fleshly moment or wrestling with my own stuff, I ain't got peace to give.
Mm.
So that there's that. There's that.
Somebody gave a real good comment in here. Some people have no goals. So if we are talking about, oh, that's deep. I don't think people don't have goals, right? As being a life coach, and if you want to book me as a life coach, please go to coachsimeon.com. Okay.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. I think people don't recognize that what they're doing in life, it is a goal in some way, shape, or form. They're arriving to a place. Now, remember you used to say either you, what do you say about life?
You make the choices in life, or life will make the choices for you.
Make choices in life, or life make choices for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not choosing to ride the front, then you're taking a back seat and life is going to steer you. However, you're making a choice. So you got a goal. You're going to arrive to a goal, whether you're choosing it or not. But I think that's one thing. But when somebody says, "Hey, what's your 5-year plan or your 5-year goal?" There are some people who haven't had the opportunity to really unpack that. I don't think that they don't have it. I think that some people just haven't, because of how the busyness and all that. I think some people haven't really sat down and really paid attention to what they're trying to do or where they're trying to be in life. However, there are some, I take that back, because I'm looking at how my wife's eyebrows are always in the air. We have met people that say, listen, I'm just trying to get a little.
Change your insight for me.
No.
What you feel like
No,
for me.
I just thought about this because the conversation I had with this dude. This dude said, man, I'm just trying to get me a little chick and chill for real, trying to get me a little chick, give me a little job at a little warehouse, you know what I'm saying? And then just chill and just live and just chill.
That's his goal.
That's the goal, though. Now, it might not be your standard.
Right. I must say, ain't nothing funny about it, but that's his goal.
Because truthfully, there's somebody for everybody. You know, we say, I hate the term of what one person's trash is somebody's treasure, because I don't think God creates trash.
Right.
However,
I think we can develop into it, though.
I think you can turn into.
But listen, people don't come out born trash. They get around people. Girl. They get groomed to become a certain way. True. They act a certain way. They practice certain behaviors, it just develops that way. The thing is, we are adaptive people. We are adaptive beings. Wait a minute, though.
But if you're trash, trash is trash. Can trash convert back over to value?
I feel like it. Like I said, we're adaptive beings, so you can change
Wait a
Either
minute.
way,
I
if
just
you
got a
are
word. I just got to like recycle. You know what I'm saying?
recycle up against somebody be
Hold
recycled.
on, hold on. Take a thrift store. Ooh, you
Wait a
remember
minute,
somebody gave
yeah.
away his shirt and they said this is trash.
Yes,
Then
but
somebody else
there was a poem.
felt that shirt.
Somebody did a poem about that.
Comfy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the poet laureate, Comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
get back because I
it's
was
comfy.
making a good point.
Well, you're just having a revelation on because that comfy already had.
No, I was just thinking about how there's somebody for every. I believe there's somebody for everybody. But I also believe that somebody could be for you depending on when you look in the mirror, look in the lens, are you looking at it through a superficial standard that you've learned on TV that you really don't identify with? Because here's what I found out. I done met some ladies who have a high standard for a man, and I'm not about to get on no Kevin Samuels moment, but have had a high standard for a man and can't accommodate that lifestyle that man has. And then I've also met guys same way, look well, 6'2", nice body, and all that stuff. Met a woman who his preference is or standard is and can't match up and live up to that lifestyle. So I think when we really have that good self-awareness, like I was saying, that's a good quality to have, where you can actually set good standards based on how we treat each other, what eternity look like, what happily ever after looks like. The material things, if we base off the material and the physical things, those change. Every day, all day, we are changing, and we got to upkeep this body by how we eat, how we exercise, and any of that stuff. But it can just take one car accident or one terminal illness, and that body won't look that way. Or if you're chasing somebody for money,
that's where the integrity of the person's character comes into play. That's why it's important to be looking at what they actually possess inwardly, because if anything outwardly can happen, we can't, and a lot of that we can't control. The world around us, we can try to create a space for ourselves in this world, but you can't control all of the components of the outer world. And if something happens to that person that is beyond the both of your control, then wait a minute. Then y'all gonna have a real issue. It's gonna be a real problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Miyoshi says some people haven't been exposed to some people are supposed to activate a desire for a long-term goal. Yeah. So they can they can activate.
Some people what? I didn't understand.
They can once they get that exposure to being around, like you know how they say that when you're leveling up, make sure that you're in a room where you're not the smartest person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So when opposites attract, this person can have grind and have hustle. They just haven't been in an environment around people who have long-term goals or what that looks like to make those long-term goals and things like that. Just as the other person who might be a dreamer who can make all the plans in the world, but they don't have that go get it desire, that dog in them that other person has that hustle and all that stuff. So this is a good case in point that how when you are opposites, or I don't know, probably shouldn't be looking for somebody exact that's doing the same exact stuff as you. I don't know.
Well, dating or looking for a mate or whatever the case may be is always going to have some inkling of a gamble to it because all the cards are never fully revealed. Like they're
remember
not
people
all
bring
on
their
the table.
representative.
Yeah, so that's one of the issues. And if you are with someone and it appears as though they haven't been the exposure to be around other people to know what greatness looks like, or for instance, a lot of us, excuse me, we come from single parent households, like the both of us. Neither of us had a dad. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what a stand-up man, that take care of his children. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had some examples, like my uncle walking me down the aisle. He was aside from my granddads, one of which passed away when I was fairly young, and the other when I was a little bit older, I still hadn't had a personal account for a man being in your home taking care of children. My husband and I developed that. We made that happen. I'd never seen that personally before. He never had the exposure to that. So that just speaks to, you can not necessarily have an example or the exposure and still have the desire to want to become something different from what you've been exposed to and pursue it. So the person doesn't necessarily have to have the exposure, I would say, but they do have to have the drive or the want or the desire to have better, whether that is spiritually, financially, emotionally, whatever. There are so many different resources available to us now that you can get. If you want to be spiritually inclined, there are ways to find out, people to reach out to, technology to assist you for those resources. And the same thing, if you want to be emotionally, get you a therapist, get you a
take an
coach,
IQ test,
get you a mentor. These people will help you become accountable and help you figure out what those character flaws are that you have, and help you to become a little more emotionally intelligent, or whatever the case may be. And then, if you want to be financially, stable or literate, there are ways for people to. No, I'm just saying, there are ways for you to become that as well. Like, there are resources. You just gotta be willing and wanting to, delve into that.
I think it's deeper than that though too. The want to do something, just like we was learning about. Who was that? Was it Paul? That's some of the things that I want. Yeah, the desires are hard. The things that I want to do, don't do things. I don't have my notes with me, but
that's a real thing.
Yeah. So when I say it's deeper than that, we train our heart for years. We train our heart, how we feel. Like, there's some people, sometimes, me and Yolanda were friends for a while before we got in a relationship, and man, just instantly hit it off. I was like, I like you. And then we just was tight. And then I liked her a lot. And I was like, I don't know what to do with her.
It was short-lived. Our friendship was short-lived, but we were friends before.
We still are. I don't got no friends because I traded them off for her.
We are friends. Don't say that, because you have people like you that are your friends. They'll be like, oh, it is.
Anyway,
I'm still his bestie. Y'all can be his friend. I'm still his bestie.
I don't know what. Anyway. I forgot what I was going to say.
So much. But we got a house full of girls, so that's the thing. So I walk around doing that. I barely know what it means. I don't even know. I be cussing everybody out right now.
I know. Like, what does that mean? It could be sign language for something else. Wait a minute. You know sign language?
A little, but I don't know.
Is that I don't even put my hand up.
That's an L, but but whatever. But at any rate, I would also say this.
Okay.
If you
tag me in when you're done with your last comment.
Oh, well, you getting ready to say some share? Please share something.
I forgot, because you started Ellen.
No, you L'd first, and then I started Ellen.
I know, when you overdid it. Like, I only did like 1, 2, and then you did like 1, 2, 3, 4, fat. You kept doing it. You like. So.
See, and get people that hold themselves accountable to. Don't get.
Okay. All right. Let me. All right. Okay. No, easy. Whoa. So I was saying before I was really interrupted by multiple L's, sideways pistols. No, seriously. I think some stuff is deeper than folks realize, because we train our heart all the time, and we've been doing it since we were kids. When somebody like us or we like somebody, we hit them or give them something and things. We in human behavior, we do what's satisfying. So when we get the right emotional response, we keep doing that thing. We stop getting that response, we stop doing that thing. And I think over time, people start to shape their own world of what they like and what they want based on the reaction and response, or the fulfillment, even if it's just a temporary fulfillment, but the fulfillment of gratification that they've got from that thing. So when they say that they want, um, you know, a certain size of a woman, trying to say this in a very holy way, just because of the interaction, because maybe they had somebody with a not so much size and that interaction may have hurt, and they start to shape their reality of, okay, I got to have a thick woman. And it's like, dang, bro, you probably passed up the woman that was right for you and meant for you because you made emotional decisions based on some past experience on some physical stuff. Now, that was just, a typical thing. I'm just talking from a guy perspective. This is a typical thing that I know guys have said and how we are, right? But if that here's having that mom, a healthy mom and dad come in. If we've seen what it looks like to be modeled, a strong woman who has identity, who has moral standards, who has emotional standards, who has safety standards, who have financial standards, not necessarily financial preferences, but standards like, hey, this person has to have some idea of financial responsibility. I can't deal with somebody that gamble because that's not very responsible. That's actually pretty dangerous, right? When we meet, when we learn what that is and have seen that modeled, then in our heart that's been shaped by those examples. And I think this because I know most guys end up getting somebody that's like their mom in some kind of capacity. And so if we were shaped that way, I think it could kind of have an effect. I think when people have a dad and that dad has been around and did a really good job, I think those, I don't know, but I think those ladies be like, psh, he ain't got to look like Simeon, you know what I'm saying?
Period. Clock it.
Okay. Oh.
Yes.
Ain't got to look like, Idris. Well, it's like Simeon and it's like Idris. So he got to look like. So it's not about the looks on top. Even dad bod Simeon. You gotta look like that because it's like Simeon in his prime.
Simeon dad bod.
Simeon dad bod. Then Idris is like right here. Because Will Smith is like right up in here. So it's like Simeon prime dad bod. Anyway, tomato, oranges. So you ain't gotta.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Pay attention that your standards are not just preferences. Will this person live long and prosperous with you? Because that money will leave, that body will leave, and the beauty will fade. Now, that's not to say, ain't nothing wrong with being attracted to people. Like, I always compliment my wife all the time, and I'll be like, man, I'm so glad you got pretty feet. Man, I'm so glad your skin is soft. Man, I'm so glad you got good hygiene. Because hygiene that could have a impact.
Self-care.
Self-care.
That could be
that
could
I hope
be
y'all got
standard.
your notes out. Here we go. Standard self-care.
Because let me tell you, if you're talking to somebody and they got plaque thick across,
that's what I'm talking about. Idris ain't got ish on Simi in the Jets.
Who said that?
I'm about to do a lap. Where's the organ?
Oh,
Bam, bam. Yes.
No,
yes, sir. No.
No.
Okay.
Now you know how I feel about that.
Okay. All right. Focus. So, okay. I'm sorry.
Too much. Because you stay over in that chair. Because if you come down, you need to be over there.
Oh my goodness. Do y'all see how long Yolanda hair is? Y'all remember? Did y'all know her a long time ago? Okay. I had to try to whip it back to you because.
Oh gosh. I'm telling him he don't stay focused. People ain't gonna take us serious. You
Okay. No, I am
okay.
being serious, y'all. Things like, self-care.
Self-care is very
Wait,
important.
I got some stuff. Wait,
Okay, well,
wait.
you get to your stuff.
I got some stuff right. I really need to say. I took notes over the last few weeks.
Okay.
So, guys, here's some things that guys do that you need to be on the lookout for. And then, guys, here's some things that we do that you need to be self-aware about that will mess it up if we're not paying attention. Okay. So, being emotionally available, right? Leaving her feeling insignificant. Being emotional available, but not being emotional available. So being emotional unavailable will lead her. So if I only want one thing, I keep just looking for one thing, that there's got to be more to the surface than just physical stuff.
There's got to be more than just the surface.
There's got to be more than just surface. Very good, babe.
I'm with
you. And then Porcia said it, neglecting to provide a plan. This is something that we talk about because at the beginning had a plan.
Porcia on the thing.
Yeah, had a plan.
Y'all need to call. Feel free to call me. Y'all know my number. We taking phone calls. Y'all call me so we can have a real discussion about these matters instead of y'all just being in the chat. Miyoshi, Porcia, anybody else that know me personally, y'all can call.
Getting interrupted by your wife, guys. Pay attention to that because that could be. Oof.
I thought it was conversation. You said Porcia. I just want to say Porcia. Okay, sorry. You're right. I finally apologized. Let me see what 50 minutes in.
No, but neglecting to provide a plan. As time go on, that'll be something that'll be changing. So, like you say, what's your 5-year plan, 1-year plan? 5 years a lot. I mean, there's a way to have that conversation. Probably a way to ease on into it. Like, hey, so remember when you were little? You said, what you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a teacher or whatever. That childlike wonder sometimes strays away from us, and we just stop really thinking anymore because we be in the now trying to survive. I'm only going to give y'all 5 out of these 10. You want the other ones? We can have a conversation about
it. Yeah. Go to
www.coachsimeon.com. COACH coach SIMEON.com. Anyway, comparing her to other women, that is not like, I was listening to I remember Lishay said, I was on a date with this dude, and this dude said, man, I really like you and I want to date with you because you look like Sanaa Lathan. She said, Lishay, she said the guy said that on a date that she was with. She said, I couldn't gather my stuff up fast enough. And the dude was sitting there looking like, what's wrong? Sanaa Lathan is cute. He missed the whole thing. So comparing her to other women and then praising other women in her presence, especially when getting to know her. And if it's like, hey, we on a date, and then you stop somebody and say, hey, how you doing? Okay, I just want to tell you, you cute. You look. It seems like this should be no-brainer stuff, but dudes do it. I feel like Stephen A. Smith. I've had conversations with men. This is some. I'm pretty sure I've jacked up and did that. Fail to follow through on a promise. Just don't promise, especially if you know. But that's some self-awareness stuff that you got to realize. Hey, how often do I follow through? And then being harsh with words, like Yolanda said, in tone, and creating a feeling of being a burden. It's a lot of times, guys.
That I think sound like already in relationship type stuff.
Nah, man, it be people. I've seen people be on dates and be around and do just like used to locker room. Yeah, used to locker room talk.
Well, I reckon be yourself at the first date and stuff, because then you can genuinely get an understanding of who he genuinely is, and then you can be like, okay, not you.
I don't think that though, because
you telling him not to be himself, and what I think is you let people be who they are. Excuse me. Then you make a decision on if you want to be with that person or not. Like, I mean, I
At
would
this
say
big old age, yes.
yes, but I would definitely say that if you are a guy that is doing all of those things, then and I don't get me wrong. When I said this sound like relationship stuff, I mean like
Yeah, like there's tenure.
yeah, like when you say um, making sure that you're not having harsh conversation or talk to when you're in the dating world. I don't know. Like I said, it's been a long time. We've been together 21 years. Uh, I would think that guys are still bringing their representative to the date with them.
Aaron the plumber.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Aaron the plumber will pop the balloon.
Well, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I would love for him to just be who he is.
But he wasn't like that
Because
to everybody.
I'm just saying because it's better to
Oh,
find.
okay.
It's better
I
to
see what you're
find.
saying.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
I see what you're saying. Be
And
that. If that's you, be that.
yeah, that
But
should
that's
be
still
that.
not
And
how.
ladies, don't get mad. Listen to what he's saying. Sit across from him. If he acting a certain way and he doing, for me, dating would be observation. I'd be like, okay. And who I am as a woman is not going to be compromised. I'm going to acquiesce with poise, with grace, because I'm very demure. Oh my God. There's so many things we're gonna be mocking on here because we just hate the new language and stuff. But
So
yes, I think
observation.
you. I think you
I
should.
think you said something really key.
I think you should be very observant when you are dating people. Just kind of pay attention to what they saying, what they doing, how they acting and stuff, and then bring up topics that you feel like, oh, that's kind of to be talking about or whatever. Because I feel like if you do that, you get the real about them.
Our daughter's texting me.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
let's talk about this. When you and I first started dating, so my husband and I, when we first started getting serious, like he talked about, we were friends and stuff. But when we first started getting serious, one of our very first dates that I took him on was to my well checkup. Yeah. I told him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna take you out to lunch. Do you want to go? And he was like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, before we go, I want to make this stop real quick. Now, most people might feel like, oh, she tricking him and this and that and the other. Well, I felt like that was me trying to see how much he really cared. Like if he was gonna put up a big protest, like where are we going? Why are we going to the hospital or the doctor's office or whatever? He would really know. So when I went to my doctor's appointment, I was like, hey, this is my OB. She been my doctor for a long time. You can ask her any questions you want to about me. I'm a clean bill of health. Like you are only my second partner I've ever had. And I just want you to be here while she give me my exam. And I mean like my whole exam, PAP, everything. And he was there for that. And then I'm like, if you can't be mature enough to handle this, but you want to be in my package, but you don't want to see my package being examined, that's kind of weird to me. If you don't want to know that I'm taking care of my package, but you want to be in the package, then that's a problem for me. I feel like you're not very mature. And he was taken back when he first came in. He was like, why are we going to the doctor's appointment? Like, why are we at the doctor's office? I was like, because today is my wellness check and I want you to be here for it. And I want you to know that I'm clean. And then I want you to book one too, so I can go to your appointment. And I went to his appointment too. And when the doctor said cough, I was like this. I want to see what's going on because that was just something I was serious about. Like I'm serious about that. That was my standard. And for me, there was no compromise. Like your well-being, you taking care of yourself, you being healthy, me knowing your status was important to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, that was 21 years ago. And I was serious about my person. I understand that I only get one of me. And there is not going to be a second chance to this life. And so I've always been this very cautious and very cognizant of the people that and I've always been the type of person, I'm not having sex with somebody that I don't believe that if I had a baby, they wouldn't be there to take care. They don't have characteristics and stuff of taking care of a baby. Like, I'm not having sex with anybody that I don't feel like he you some now come on women, we just gonna be real. Sometimes y'all messing with people and it's right across their forehead and they telling you and stuff. They're like, I ain't taking care of no kids. I don't like kids. I'm still immature. All of these different things and stuff. And you still talk to them and mess with them, and then you get caught up, and then you mad. Like, for me, my standard was, I'm not sleeping with not a person that I don't feel like, one, I can't know your medical background. You can have mine, and I can't know yours. And two, I feel like you didn't have enough maturity that if I ended up pregnant, you wouldn't stick around for the baby. Like, I just wasn't, certain things just give that away right off the bat. Now, if somebody deceives you, it's different when you're being deceived than when somebody's just flat out telling you who they are and you just turning a blind eye to it. You got to be smart and mature about stuff like that. Can I say one other thing? Okay. You need to be cognizant also of your own flaws and issues. Like, you can't be, I don't talk to him because of this, and I don't talk to that, I ain't like them and that. Well, what is there about you that somebody would say that's a turn off and I wouldn't talk to you? Because everybody got something that people would be like, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, that's a no-go for me. So if you are not the nicest of person, you might have to consider the fact that you're the problem. Like, some people are getting those signals there, and when you're in your social setting and stuff, people are catching that. The way you in conversation and stuff, and if you're not the nicest of people, they probably like, yeah, nah, I don't want to talk to her because she sound like she want to argue. Yeah, I don't want to talk to her. Those type of things. You might be, ladies, we can definitely feel like we the princess and the prize at times, and we think
you are not the main character. I just been I remember Louis said that to somebody.
Yeah, and so when we get like that, we feel like we the one that with all the options. No, brothers got options out here too. They got options out here too. And if you are not able to see the stuff that are deal breakers in you, you're gonna keep getting where you having those comments like this. I don't know what it is. It ain't no good men out here. Like, and when I feel like this is the one, it just don't work out. Well,
if you work around like this, I don't know why all these people got a pin in their eye, or hey, fam, you got one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You got
Sure.
You got to remove the. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. You got to remove the log out of your eye.
Call out the splinter, and somebody. A lot of times stuff be really small, and we just make it big. So, did you have something else?
No, I was just gonna say, if you yes. Then I guess I should say yes. I was also gonna say that if you are an average height girl, no, I'm just saying. Think about this. Let's put things into perspective. If you're a girl and you want a 6'2" or above boy, and you want uh, him to have muscles, and you want him to be chocolate, and you want him to have six figures, and you want, what's the guy name that you said you're not trying to be like right now, have a moment like him?
Kevin Samuels.
I've never listened to him before. I just learned about this person at
the late Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was having this conversation last week before with some ladies, and he got brought up, and I was like, no, I'm not, because I asked this question, like, do you know what your deal breakers are, the characteristics you carry as a deal breaker? And my husband said, that sounds like a question that Mr. Samuels would ask. And I was like, who was that? Like, I didn't know who that was. Sorry, I'm out of the loop. But this was another one of the things that I was thinking. If you are a girl who is average height, and you're talking about he got to be a certain height, do you feel like that's kind of judgmental if you because you but
You
I guess
really just said that
I guess what I'm
earlier.
trying to say is no. Let me try to put it more into better terms. Would you date you is what I'm saying. So if you're a girl who's average height, you got average um uh what is it, credit score, you what? Why you got your
I'm listening.
why you put your hand over your face?
Because you are funny. This is funny. I never heard you say this. I want to hear this whole thing
No,
out.
I'm just saying. Just think about all the stuff that you want from somebody else, and if you don't have those things, I don't see how you hold somebody to those standards. That's all I'm saying. Why are you laughing?
Because it's funny. I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah. And then I was like, these days, a lot of brothers are like, she ain't even got to have no teeth. It's like, I mean,
You think guys are like that? No, I think guys are just as picky as women are.
I think here in Texas, yes. In Texas, these dudes I mean, from 21, not from teenage to 60,
Really?
them standards or them preferences are
I think
up there. But in Kansas City,
I think
and some of
men
them, in them southern, other them,
I think men are running neck and neck with women when it comes to superficial. Men have always
I ain't talking.
they're superficial. Yes, I mean, but that's just me. That's just my
Because
opinion.
there's a lot of guys that won't even mess with the girl once they find out how much money she makes. So they be like, I want a girl with this, and they be like, oh, hello,
That's the point
I
I
make
was just
6 figures,
making.
and they be like, ooh,
Oh,
nah.
oh
I ain't
yeah.
trying to get a chick that makes 6 figures. If she did something cool, like was the
The,
manager at
the
a Taco
manager.
Bell, a shift lead. Like
Ooh.
what? And yeah, so
Well,
some people get scared.
that speaks to
Yeah,
his.
so I mean, I think you unpacking something that's really good right now. One, because I want to see if we can tie this together, tie a bow around it. So when we talk about compromising versus standards, your standards should be aligned with the standard qualities of the qualities characteristics of a person. The You compromise with your preference, what you prefer. Like even a job says, hey, these are the requirements, but we prefer a candidate with this. But they'll still hire you because they'll compromise because these are the characteristics that we want in a position. I hope this come home for somebody. So these are the requirements, all right? Which are you hardworking? Boom, boom. These different things, right? These character things. Um, and then here's the preference, though. We prefer a master's degree in this, that, and the third. But if you don't have it and you got these, or we prefer this amount of this degree, but if you have this experience, we'll take this.
Sometimes I say we'll work with you and help you obtain.
Come on, that's a word.
Obtain it.
So that's a relationship building type of company. I want to build a relationship, right? So this is building. But if you have somebody that has all these things established, like what Yolanda's saying, you want somebody that look like this, have this, that, and the third. There's not really to build with because they're built. This is built. She's built. He's built. Now all y'all gonna do is just occupy time with each other. I mean, that's not. Maybe you could grow.
I think that people think that's how they want. Exactly. That's what I want to do.
And you get what you want, and then it's like, hey, you messed around. Now you about to find out. My man that has this $600,000 a year lifestyle really don't have time
for you.
And this is why he doesn't have family and he has
short-term
short-term relationships
with people who
married
are
3 times
very goal driven because
so we talked about in Bible study is
relational.
worldly ambition versus godly ambition. And not to get all super religious, but I am. Worldly ambition is just to constantly please myself to get to where I want to get to, whereas godly ambition is all about the neighbor, like we just learned in Galatians. Hey, of all this stuff, listen, of the most important thing, the most important law, make sure the people around you, your nearest neighbors, are okay. And so I think when you have godly ambition, it lines up a little different with the worldly ambition. So when you want somebody that's just killing it and getting all the things, that's what they focused on. But if their ambition, there's love attached to it, there's peace, there's patience, there's fun loving, there's quality of life things. I think that's when you tie that stuff into ambition, that is the sustainable thing. But I was trying to tell what you said. So you said the difference between a compromise standard, we got that laid out, but then social and emotional awareness, right? So self-awareness and being careful of the idol that you're looking for. Because if you're saying you're looking for this thing, but if you can't produce this thing, then that means you're going to have to supplement that. You're looking for somebody else to supplement that, or you nose blind because you want to date yourself because you thinking like, oh, I stink, but it's fine. I might not stink to this. No, you stink. If you think you stink.
And we're not talking about, I mean, yeah, literally, but figuratively too.
Yeah.
If you have some issues and you can't see your issues, or you do see your issues, but you wouldn't date your own self, why would you think somebody else would? Like, I don't get that.
You can't put J's over it. You can't put makeup.
I don't get
you
that.
Can't get.
If you a Shein person and you want him to be a Gucci down to the socks, yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get that. Like, I don't understand that. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Just like that whole thing that, and I won't go there, but that whole Applebee. I can't believe he took me to Applebee's. You walk around with the Old Navy flip flops, fam. You're getting Applebee's, fam. Mm-hmm. You're not Ruth's Chris.
Ain't no wrong with Applebee's if you ask me. But I've been married for forever, so I don't care nothing about this. We can go to. I don't care.
We go Blue Goose.
At this point in time, if it's away from the kids and we together, it's quality time. So
I'll be like, Yolanda, we got $15. Let's go to Cane's.
Let's go, honey.
Let's split a Caniac combo. All right, y'all. So we really just wanted to get in that thing because we were talking about this, how love everybody, all the different races that are connected, but like especially in the Black couples, the Black marriages have had a serious decline. Social media, the media, and all these things have been putting out a lot of bad information, and somehow people have been mystified by not knowing the difference between a standard and a compromise or deal breaker and all these superficial versus official things. So we just like to shed a little light on that stuff, that you look for who you look for, but just ask yourself a few questions. What's some questions again when you see somebody? Will they do what? Could you have a kid with them?
Yeah, do they have a strong character? Is this a person that is mature enough that if we get in a situation where a baby comes into play, are they going to stick around and stay? And do they take care of themselves like you take care of yourself? Like, if I have but the sad thing is some girls don't.
No, okay.
Whatever. But so, if you're a person that's really, really looking to be in a relationship and you really take care of your health and yourself, those things are your health as well, then make sure you got somebody that's going to be matching that, because that's very, very important.
Or if you're not aware, seek some feedback from the people around you. That might be a little tough to do. That was one of our challenges that we did when we were getting our life coach license. Send a text message to a few people. Just make a little questionnaire, and you can do it on Google Docs. They can fill it out anonymously, and just put a few questions on there so they can rate you, so you can see where you're at. And don't be trying to figure out who said what. Just put it on, make a Google Doc, send it out to about 10 people that are near or that you encounter, and get some feedback. As we get older, feedback is important. You can't grow and control at the same time. One has to give. So if you want to grow, you got to do things to find out right before you can do it. If you want to control everything, then it's kind of hard to grow at that. So try some stuff out, get some social, emotional awareness, so you can do some personal and professional development. Yolanda's a certified life coach as well, and doula, and I'm her doulo. So I'm like the pimp assistant. You know what I'm saying? I hold her purse. So, no, but we're really big on making sure that people get aware of their self to be better people, So the people who aren't hygienically aware, who aren't emotional aware, um, financially aware,
spiritually aware,
there's still opportunities that you can grow and you can be better than you were yesterday. That's the whole goal, or that's where it should be. The best thing we could offer anybody is a better version of ourselves. It'll take some work. Some people arrive at those different destinations faster than others, but there's a good quote that says if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. You want to go far, you go together. So link up with some people or link up with us and let us help you out.
and we ain't got it all together. We ain't here to fix you. They're just giving wisdom from where we've
I'm not saying
been,
what
where
we
we're
don't
going.
have.
And
I'm just telling what we have.
oh,
So don't say we ain't got it figured. Nobody want nobody all figured out.
okay.
They want the flaw. Don't you want the flaw? When you're looking
I
for,
don't want nobody perfect. Who
I'm
can
saying.
live up to perfect?
so you ain't gotta tell people what you ain't got, girl. Tell them about what you got. Tell them about the skin.
Oh, boy.
Okay, focus.
And one final thing I would say, if you are a single person, find someone and something to care for so that when it's time to get in a relationship, you've gotten those skills
You
to
practice.
be able to be
Get a plant.
unselfish, be selfless, and to be able, I mean, more than a plant, something that can give you some feedback, something that can interact with you, something that will demand your time, because then you'll really know if you have the capacity to take care of or make space in your life for someone else.
That's good.
So maybe a pet, start with a fish or or a tortoise or a turtle or something. Find something to care for outside of you that you have to give attention to. And this, like I said, it's going to demand.
Go volunteer at a nursing home.
Yeah, I mean,
Volunteer at a nursing home for a good month.
whatever.
Just something. There's just opportunities.
But commit to it, because it'll let you know if you're ready to be in a relationship or not. So, but if your job is your everything, then that's what it's gonna be when you get in a relationship too.
All right.
All right.
What's next week?
I don't know. What are we gonna talk about next week? What do you want to talk about next week?
We will get back with you.
No, I want them to know now, so they'll be in anticipation about our topic, our subject for next week. I don't know. Maybe we will give it to y'all before sometime later in the week.
I know that I would like to talk about.
Maybe y'all can send us some subject matters. Maybe there's something you all would like for us to talk about and touch on. That'd be a good idea. Then we'll be more than happy to take those on. Yeah. So if you got a subject matter that you want to talk about, a subject matter that you would like to talk about, let us know. If you know us personally, you can call us or something. And if you don't, put it in a DM. We'll figure it out. Did you check out the comments and the questions?
We'll get back at the end of the video. We'll go comment through there.
Okay, got you. Because it's late. It's late.
Yeah. Got a kid. They gotta go get.
Yeah. So y'all leaving your auntie and uncle house now. Bye. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor out.
You made it. You're looking like
made it through the second episode. This guy.
It's the rock. You see me do the OG rock to get up. All right.